Welcome to the Pioneer Agronomy Update. We have made our way to the Langdon, North Dakota area. Jake Muhs is with us, and first of all, appreciate the chance to visit the agency.
Yeah, no problem. You guys are always welcome.
Well, tell us a little bit about this crop. When did you get things in, and what shape are we in?
Well, we started about the last week of April there, and we finished up the last week of May. So it took us about a month to get it all in. And we started with our wheat and waited for the soil to come up to do the corn that we had, and then we actually parked the drill for about 10 days before we planted the canola because it was just so gosh darn dry. We wanted to get a rain. It was getting dry, and we were like, if we put it in now, it's just going to sit there until we get one. So we decided to wait until after our rain, and so we didn't have crusting on it, and turning it out to be the way you want to do it.
That's the big question is rain. What's your spring been like as far as moisture?
On this side of Langdon, we've missed quite a few of the rains. I mean, so far, just this year, we've only gotten an inch, and it's not looking to be enough, especially with the amount of snow cover we had. It's not looking good. It's pretty gosh darn dry out there. I mean, we have to dig right now, even 2 inches plus, just to get to the moisture, so it's awfully dry.
So what's that do to the stand?
It's very, very spotty. You got some wheat out there that can be up to flag leaf, and then some of that's all the way down to 2 leaf, so it's really tough for the wheat to be even, and I don't think there's going to be very much stand that are going to be like last year's stand that we had.
We're going to talk more about this crop in a bit. Tell me a little bit more about the agency.
Well, I started about 2.5 years ago with my dad, and my dad passed away 2 years ago from cancer, and I started with him, and then things happened, and we hired Leon, who was working with me out there, and we've been selling seed here for well, this is no longer with the Mike Moose agency, but we're Moose Ag Services now. So, but we've been selling here for 2 years now, and things are on the up and up. So everything's good.
You got some plot events coming up this summer?
Yeah, we have a plot tour. Normally it's about the last week of July, and we've got 4 plots. We've got a canola plot, a soybean plot, a corn plot, and then an enlist soybean plot that we're testing out some pre-emerge chemicals on.
Pretty happy with how those look? Or?
All the soybeans look really good. We didn't get the wind or the hail that a lot of guys have gotten farther east. And the corn plot looks all right. We're needing some rain. And then we just put our canola plot in, would have been 2 weeks ago. And that was the last field we planted. So we're still waiting on it to come up because we've been so dry. But if we catch a rain, I think it'll be quick with this warm temperature.
Well, we're learning today, pray for rain, but make sure you pray for a specific amount.
Yeah, we can't ask for too much too fast, and we can't ask for too little.
Exactly right. Jake Muhs with us from the Langdon area. We're going to bring Kristie into the mix. Kristie Sundeen. Kristie, let's visit if we can. As far as what you're seeing in the local area, give me an idea of just a snapshot on this crop.
You know, it's really variable. We've got guys that were planting in April, and we've got guys that waited and had some crop going in the end of May here. Either way, everything needed rain and didn't get rain at the right time. We got stuff that still isn't germinated that's in the ground, and we've got stuff that is extremely uneven in the same field. And, you know, some of it I think is too far along for us to really save it, except for maybe the later stuff that just came out Memorial Day weekend. So, I don't know. We need rain. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's the way it goes. We need rain. The further south and west you go, the worse it gets. Some guys did pick up some rain here over the weekend, but they also got hail along with it, so we've got replants happening in those situations. Especially on sunflowers and soybeans, the replants are happening. Canola, it's extremely uneven. I haven't found a field that I really like, and, you know, guys are like, well, what do I do? And I tell them, what can you do? I mean, there's just nothing we can do. If we don't start catching rains here shortly, it's going to make a lot of determinations for a lot of people.
What about things like weed control that we should be doing at this point?
You know, so that's a question I get a lot. And I got a lot of growers like, if I don't catch rain by the end of the week, I'm not spraying. Well, to be honest, let's not go that route. Because weed control is something we can control. We can't control the weather. We can't control what Mother Nature is going to give us at this point. But we can control on the decisions that we make that are going to affect us for the next 3 to 5 years. And not spraying and not doing weed control at this point will affect growers for the next 3 to 5 years. Wild oats are a big issue in this area, especially as you move to the west and to the north into those pockets. And if we don't stay on top of the wild oats, there are already fields that are major issues for growers. I've got fields up in that north area that they don't plant wheat. It's a lot of Roundup Ready crops that they're trying to get back control of from the wild oats. So My recommendation is need to spray. Make sure you're paying attention to your herbicide and what their window of application is. So try to pick something that's going to have an extremely wide window. Not to promote any products or anything, but look at what the window of application is on products and pick something that's going to work with what's in your field. I got a field today that is being sprayed that's anywhere from the 2-leaf stage, 1-leaf stage, all the way up to, like we said, the flag leaf. It's getting sprayed with something that's going to cover that entire spectrum, because the last thing I need to do is to hurt the crop more than it already is, because what is there, if we catch rains, we'll be able to salvage something. But I also need to control the weeds that are out there, because I don't want a problem next year. And I think we might already be moving into that hopefully next year is better standpoint at this point. But that's farmers, and that's what they do, and that's the industry we're in. Next year will be better. We'll have to do that.
Exactly right. Any pest issues, insect issues early this season?
Flea beetles have been a big issue. Especially when we're hot and dry, and flea beetles really like it when it's hot and dry. I had a few phone calls like, is the heat going to kill the flea beetles? No, I'm sorry. They'll burrow down underneath the soil. They'll hide out when it gets too hot, because they're not going to want to be out either, but that's not going to stop them from feeding either. So flea beetles have been a pretty big issue. Guys have been spraying pretty steadily on those. Even on some of our fields, Lumiderm has done really well for us, and we're having really good luck with it again this year. We've got a few spots here and there, a couple of fields that were bordering a canola field from last year or a CRP field where there's a lot of overwintering that happens in those fields. Then we maybe had to do a border, but so far we haven't had any major train wrecks with flea beetles on our fields.
So Kristie, Jake mentioned some of the plots he's got in here. Give me an idea, what are we looking to achieve in some of the plots that you have in your territory?
So canola wise, we've got a new Liberty Link canola that's coming out on the market. We also do have a Roundup Ready one, but I didn't get any of that planted in my geography. A lot of this geography has moved predominantly to Liberty. So we're not going to get to see that one, but we will be seeing the new Liberty Link hybrid that we're coming out with. Enlist is a big thing for us. We've got a lot of new products coming down the pipeline, and that's the direction we're heading, is towards the Enlist system, moving away from the Extend and the uncertainty with that. And then we've got corn products that are out. We've got a couple of new ones that are going to be possibly coming out for next year, so it'll be nice to get a view of those ones. And pre's. The biggest question that guys have with the Enlist system as we move to the north and to the west is the Enlist system in kochia. So we're taking a really good look at what pre's bring to the table for us, and if we can do really good control, so that way we don't have to rely so heavily on our post systems.
Kochia seems to be the big issue, and you look at this particular area.
Well, yeah, this area is heavily, predominantly, you'd be hard pressed to find a field that doesn't have kochia in it, and that's probably one of the number one weeds. A lot of the kochia in this geography, and especially as you are moving out to the west and the north, the big thing is it's resistant to Roundup. So trying to manage it either with the Extend or the Enlist system, we want to make sure that we've got a handle on it to help the growers so that they don't have any issues with our system. The nice thing with the Enlist system for this geography is it kills volunteer canola. So guys are really going to like that feature, just as long as we can also take care of the kochia at the same time. So we're working on that. I've got 2 Enlist executive plots that are going to be happening in my geography this summer. We've got one in Middle River, Minnesota, just to the east of there. And then I've got another one outside of Devil's Lake. So we're going to have a pretty big plot tour around the 12th and 13th for those locations that we'll be inviting all of the sales reps and their growers out to take a look at.
So make sure folks take that on the schedule.
Yeah, put it on your schedule. Come out in July. Hopefully it's not too hot, and hopefully there's something to see at this point. Both of them are up and running, and we've got pre's at both locations, so it'll be good to see what's going on in those ones.
Well, let's keep the fingers crossed as far as the moisture.
Yeah, praying for rain. I don't want hail. I don't want a 4-inch downpour. I'd actually, if I could have a wish, I want 3 days of cloud cover and drizzle for those 3 days.
Let's get specific. Exactly, right?
Well, if you don't ask for specific, you're just going to take what you get. The guys down south are finding that out, but I don't think they asked for it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, Kristie Sundeen with us from Pioneer, Jake Muhs from Muhs Ag Service, again right here in the Langdon, North Dakota area. That's our Pioneer Agronomy update.